Hello and welcome, and the nightmare continues for part number 2 as we are now stood in what should be our Lego room and not much has changed. There is one or two little bits and pieces with an update with regards to the massive hole that is in the floor, so if you've not caught part number 1, I'll link it to the end of this video. But in today's episode, for your enjoyment and my utter misery, what we're going to do, we're going to run over hopefully what potentially will be eventually a new table layout in this room. Then we're going to discuss what we are going to be doing with this and if there's any more of this elsewhere in the room. Then I want to take you down into our new unboxing area, run over some of the lighting that I've got down there, and then get the tape measure out and then figure out if we can make a joint display, because we have something in mind with Jay's Toy Collection UK. We'll start with everybody's favourite part, the hole. This thing just here now, this bit has been an absolute nightmare. This is all smashed up. These cables are not live, so don't worry about that whatsoever. The reason why this was so difficult to get up is because it had all been nailed down. So what I need to do is I need to put some more noggins in. I need to cut some of this up and literally support it going across, and then get some timber underneath there, because this floorboard is also starting to flex. So there's going to be all sorts of little bits and pieces going on within this upload to get this much stronger for when the next board goes down. That's easy enough. But the issue is if it's done it somewhere else. Now, we got quite a bit of weight on these tables just over here, and I don't know if it's given up anywhere else. I don't think it has, but if it has, it's all got to come out. So before we go down into the loft, and like I said, we will be finishing at some point during the week. For you, it'll just be the next sort of 15 minutes, getting this bit patched up so I don't fall through the ceiling, is what we can put where. Now, superhero section is that bit just there. We got one table, and then we had a second table, and then we also had a third table. All in here is older Lego sets, all old Lego City sets from way back when. So there's lots of bits and pieces in here. This was all our Ninjago bits and pieces. That then wraps through and round. And then you've got the roller coaster at the back, you've got the carousel, and you've got this. Now, this is where the interesting bit starts. I think a few of you like the idea of having it as almost like a train display. Now, what I mean by that is people stand in the middle for trains. So if I stand in the middle just here like so, where this bit is here, there would be another table, and then there would be basically a gap on there, and I would just crawl underneath the floor, because that's what you've got to do, and then I've got a 360 display all the way around me. Now, doing that, he says, without falling through that will all have to move. So that basically just becomes free dumping space, because I can't use that really as a usable space. I'm not going to be crawling through the table all the time. But that does mean there are some bits and pieces down in the other room that I could bring up here to give me more space for display stuff down at the bottom. Now, bits and pieces that could potentially move. We could find a new home for the haunted house. Now, if we're going to do a haunted house, it then means I could make a proper horror display potentially downstairs in our unboxing area. This has always been a little bit weird and wonderful with regards to what area this goes in. Some of you said put it in the horror section, some of you said put it in the superhero section. Write it in the comments below. We have then got the Stranger Things set, so that can obviously stay up here. We've got the Harry Potter bits and pieces, which I am tempted to do something really nice with. The whole point and plan of this whole area is it's supposed to be a fully fledged theme park. It looks like absolute misery and disaster, because it is at the moment, but it's all supposed to have footpath down. We were in the process of making custom road plates. We had all the vehicles and everything on there, and it's going to look really smart. Now, the last thing I built before it all went wrong was the 3-in-1 roller coaster. So obviously that is far too tight for it to be in that gap just there, but it does give us options with regards to levels, because if I had this big table and then maybe this stood on top of it like so it wasn't as tall, we have then got potentially the options of having a double-decker table, and that double-decker table is the thing that I crawl underneath. So in your head, you've just got to envision a square shape. That's basically what it's going to be. I would then not put a table here because I didn't have one before. That would then allow me to get to the display side on from there, because that's where we had all the superhero section. And there is a new set, which is an old set, that me and Jay's Toy Collection UK found, and it is almost like a holy grail for certain toy collectors, and it is absolute classic Dick reference. I mean, it's going to be funny, it will be good fun for the set. It is an old school Batman set with a classic Dick in there, and it's just going to be a good one. So you've got Batman and Robin, and it has got the classic Dick symbol in it, where he goes down a spinning pole. Don't want to give too much more away, but if you can find that set and you want to do a little bit of research, do so. But it is an absolute gem of a set. I think that would work perfectly in our superhero display. So moving on and round, all the other bits and pieces I think would stay up in here. Now the Daily Bugle has got an option to go down into a bigger or different display. It's going to be a hybrid display basically. So downstairs where I do all the, I say downstairs, it's out in the shed, where I do all the unboxing videos and everything like that. And I do all of sort of like the update videos I'm going to be doing the live streams from. It's all going to be mixed with theme park content, which is obviously going to be a lot of Universal based stuff, which means there's going to be a lot of horror stuff. So it would be nice to get some more horror figures in there. It's stuff that Lego don't do, and I think the minifigures are far too small on the shelf. So I can make a hybrid display of other companies, not construction sets, something other completely different bits and pieces, and have them all on display down there, which we'll go over in a little bit when I grab the tape measure. Now Rivendell, we've already spoken about that with regards to having a nice sort of walkway round. I think we did mention, it was in one of the videos that I mentioned, that if I end up getting the new Ninjago set, what we'd end up doing is just basically having a huge rectangle of water in the middle, and this is going to be our water section of the park. With regards to the tables on top of each other, until they get measured, I don't know if there'll be enough height, for example, for the Harry Potter bits and pieces to go underneath or on top for a under roller coaster basically. So I just don't know. So I think that to that is a huge gap, but it might work, because with these off and obviously this table not here, you would then see all the bits and pieces at the back. But don't forget, that would actually be the other side. So that's the stuff that I crawl underneath. So I would have to have a double stack table to lose that one. That's going to be the issue. So the only thing is that will have to happen on the next upload, because like I said, I've got to go off, get the timber for this, we've got to get this fixed, and then when I start moving the other tables, we're going to see if there's any more floor damage. This is where it gets fun for you, because obviously last time I just moved something, I ended up smashing the set that was on top of the Daily Bugle, which was the Quinjet, and then we've got all the damage underneath here, which is just an absolute nightmare. Things to consider as well with regards to leaving space for when we redo this. Do we mix the Pirate and Vikings stuff and have that as like a water ride as well? Because obviously we're trying to link this into different theme parks around the world and different Legoland stuff. So that could potentially work. We will have, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 tables plus a huge bit around the outside. So when this all goes in properly, we will have a huge amount of space. And then we've got whatever we want for the bit of going across the top just here. So that is something else that can be done. That I might just put as storage bits and pieces, to be honest. I might not put any sets on there. I might put just that as all of spare bricks and then build that up ever so slightly. So that is a long wafted way of saying I am already far too hot. This is not going to go anywhere fast in this upload. This is going to be a long time for your enjoyment and my utter misery. I understand how happy it does. I understand how happy that makes all of you, especially certain people, which does make me laugh. So I will get my own back at some point. But yes, so what we'll do, we're going to jump from here, and then we're going to get the tape measure, which is the thing just over there. And then we're going to go down into the other room and measure up if we have enough space for a new storage display down there. Right, magically we are in the next room. Now this is the space that has just been almost like a temporary thing, which is now going to be more of a permanent thing for obvious reasons, which means we have got the opportunity to redo it all. Now I need 2 meters and a bit. I'm not going to get excited until I've measured 2. Now I can already eyeball that side of the room is over 2, but I am almost 100% sure that this bit is going to be close to 2, but you've got that timber underneath and it's going to be under 2, which means the IKEA shelving is not going to fit. So guesses in the comments below, how much ceiling height do we have? Right, we're going up, 5 foot, 6, oh look, 2 meters. And the timber is in the way, so we're gonna have to take at least 10 off for that. So we are looking at, it says 1.97 meter or 78 inches or 178 centimeters, depending on how it is you want to measure it. So basically, long story short, that has completely and utterly ruined me. So that is now stuck on the floor. That was going to be an easy trick. Come on. That was going to be an easy trick to... This is how my day and my week has gone. Get in. Shocking. The tape measure is now broken as well. So what we have got already in here are these white things just down at the back. Now that is actually adjustable shelving. So there is a positive out of this, because even though it's going to be more... I don't know if it's going to be more work, it's less driving, because I either go to IKEA and I was going to get some Billy bookcases. They are really, really nice. Obviously, a lot of people display bits and pieces on there, and I thought that would be perfect to go around the back. And then as you can see, well, we've actually got all this timber. We've got a huge length just here where we can basically make a massive display floor to ceiling, and it can just wrap around. And then I've got a editing area and all that kind of stuff. And it's just easy to do voiceover work and stuff out in here. Not going to work. But because we've got these bits just here with adjustable shelving, what I can do is I can get some more of those, get some more of these brackets, and then I will have to get a load of timber and cut it over double brackets. So what I basically would have to do is how this bit of timber is now, where it's got the overhang on that bit and the overhang on that bit, that would be a shelf, and then the next one would do the same, and they basically kiss and meet in the middle. So if I needed to adjust this one down, it then means I don't have to adjust the whole length down, and it's in bite-sized chunks, which might make it easier than the Billy, because I think the Billy bookcase is the shelf width on some of them are quite wide, and it's the whole thing you have to do rather than being able to sort of step it. So there's a positive and negative from this. The negative is it did have backs on, so what I might have to do is now insulate the back wall or just do something different. But I think that lighting, when it's the right colour in here with regards to how bright it is on that window, is a little bit darker, and I didn't have these lights on. I think that picks up on the camera quite well. So there, potentially I might need to get some more of these little lights and just have them dotted around. But at the moment we've got a shelf up the top, shelf on there. I'm going to have to get some more racking that goes in the middle, and then we're going to have to get some more bits and pieces and get some more shelving on the outside. So I don't know what to do now, because I don't know whether to, because have to pull all of this out to then tidy it up, to then bring the bits and pieces down to start making the display, or I just try and move the bits and pieces upstairs on the table and then see if I can get to the floor that way, which I think I'm going to end up breaking bits and pieces, and it's not going to go too well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to a hardware store, which is nice and simple, pick up some materials. You're going to catch up with me in a couple of days when I've got time to actually get it all cut to fit and all that sort of nonsense, and then I'll see what I've made up my mind with. Scrap that idea. You can never have too much misery in one day, so we will carry on. And also I have just managed to fix that out. Now check that out. That's some recoil to take your eye out. Right, so what we are going to do is I'm going to put the noggins in now. Then I will see if I can actually hunt the timber down, but I think I'll have to get that actually tomorrow. But I have sourced the brackets and things. So what we'll end up doing is I'll pick those up potentially instead, show you what the plan is back downstairs, and then probably end it there on a nice old classic Batman cliffhanger. And then we'll have to continue this at a different part, but probably the same day, because I'm going to try today to strip all of those different bits and pieces out and then get all of that racking put in. So it's going to be over multiple parts, because I'm conscious how long this actually is going to take to do. So what we are going to have to do, I'm going to have to bodge this like it's always been done, is what we need to do is basically put a bit of support just going across in here, because there's nothing, it's just a big old gap. So I either need to put it here, which I'm potentially thinking of doing, putting it smack in the middle, because that's obviously where it snapped. Might actually end up putting a second one in there, so I need to get another bit of timber, and then I'll put another one just in. Now, like I said, the wires are completely dead, so do not panic about that. All I need to do is just mark that off roughly, so thank you very much indeed, and then cut it, screw it in, and job is a good one. All right, we'll see how this works. We'll just bodge and go, bodge and go. So I've got to be cautious with the fact of it hitting the floor underneath. So we will see what we can do. It'd be a lot easier if I had a circular saw, but it is what it is. So if I can just get this in quick enough, and then we should be living the dream. It is so hot in here, so hopefully this will fit, so we can just get this in. All I need to do is screw this in, get another piece, do the exact same thing, and then use one of the offcuts as a little bit of a support, and then hopefully we'll be ready for the big board. Too bad, a little bit of persuasion, I think. When I say persuasion, a hammer. There we go. Just need to get that knocked over, and we should be okay. So all I need to do is just get that in, get it screwed, and we'll be living the dream. All right, the persuasion worked nicely. We'll just get this in. I'm gonna put a double screw in this, to be honest. So we'll just smash that in there. That is in tight as anything. That is tight, and that's only one in. So we'll get the other one in on the other side. And then we'll repeat and do the same thing. Two in. I can't believe how hot it is in here. This is dirty and ridiculous. This is. I am properly sweating. I don't think, because the UK and how it is with the weather, it's either awful or it's biblical. And then when you think it's cool, the houses stay really, really hot. And the lofts in the UK compared to, I guess, the American basements, it's like being in a greenhouse if you've got one of those over in a different country. But that is in, that's bodged, that's really, really tight. So you can see that is absolutely fine. That's not going to go anywhere. It's just there for extra support to stop the board from snapping again. I'll get a longer piece to do it on the other bit. I've got my little piece that I had. Where's he gone? I've got my little bit that I can do. So there he is. So I've got that little bit. There we go. So that bit here will just go in and under, and I'll raise that up. So that will then get screwed into this bit, and then I'll get a big screw going through on there. So I'll go and grab one of them now, and that just gives this board that little bit of extra support, because that's on the move already, which is not exactly ideal. So I'll get that bit done, and then I'll catch back up myself. I haven't got another bit of timber to go here, so I will just get another strip of timber when I get the board, so that'll be absolutely fine. So all I've got to do is just bash another one of those screws in now. I'll do that nice and quick, and then we'll go down, eyeball the shed. No, scrap that. What we'll do, we'll go from here, collect the bits and pieces that we need for the other room, and then we'll finish down in there. Better not forget to bash these in either, otherwise that could go a bit wrong. Why I didn't do that first, I don't know, but just bend them over, and then I don't have to worry about standing on them, do I? Idiot. Right, some sort of success at last. I have got the brackets. Not got them with me, I've left them in the truck, and it's pouring down, so they can stay there for now. So, plan of attack. Not in this video, this is what is to come. What I'm going to have to do is, all of this is going to have to come off. I'm going to have to get all of this on this side, because I'm thinking what I'm going to do is end up cutting the shelves in half. So it means then obviously I can have smaller shelves, got them down, but obviously lots of bits and pieces will have to be pulled out. And you can see where the racking stops on here, I need to get everything that is basically underneath these shelves out completely to about this point to start with. So we've got a good amount to move. You can see that this is just obviously old boxes and just bits and pieces like that. That is all covered over. So this is the area that we're going to be working with. So you can now see just how big an area we've got as a display piece. And then we'll be able to have multiple shelves, probably another 3 all the way down, basically to the floor if we wanted it to. And then we can pick and choose what we want to do. So we can mix and match it up with some of these, for example. And then obviously all of these will it'll just be a dumping ground to start with. But at least we have some sort of positive for the next upload. The negative is now I'm going to have to take all of this apart. So the misery of today will continue, but not in this video. You have to keep your eyes peeled for part number 3 of that, because that's how that video is going to start, because we do have a plan of attack. So in part 3, what we'll see is we'll see this basically completely stripped down, and then I'll get all of the racking in place, and I'll get all of these pieces in place, and then we'll have a look at what the floor looks like as well. And obviously I want to look into getting some more of these lighting, so we can speak about that at some point as well. And then at the end of part number 3, we can have a look up in the attic as well. I have added in all the supports, nothing moves, it's all right now, so that's absolutely fine. So I didn't just leave it how you saw it. It is proper sturdy, so don't panic about that too much if you're into your woodwork. I have done it properly in the end, so don't stress yourself too much. But this is going to be really handy, because you can see that these can just move about. So we've got a taller Lego set or a taller figure, for example. I will then just be able to move the 2 brackets up a little bit, and then the next 2 brackets can drop down. So we have got 1 there, 2, 3, and then this is bracket number 4, so that's okay. So it'd be bracket to bracket, and obviously what I can do, I'm going to get a load of storage, put the old painting stuff in, because that was the stuff that we actually used for the loft to get all of that painted and all that sorted. And then where we've got this hard table just here, you can see I'm in the process of actually rendering a video for later on in the week. That can all go up at the top, and it's going to be misery, absolute misery, but at the same time it'd be good fun. So guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. This is how it's going to be now for the next multiple Lego related stuff from my end, with all the theme park stuff, because you can see I'm in an absolute nightmare. I will try and do the odd unboxing video. You have got this little set to come at some point. This is a cool looking thing, and then there's some other little sets that I will be doing. Keep your eyes peeled for the big 4 video as well. I need your advice with regards to what we can add in to that. And if you would like me to build the classic Batman and Robin, so obviously classic Dick, if you'd like that built live, I can then start doing a Lego Live Build series, and that set looks absolutely phenomenal as well. So classic Batman and Robin from the original TV show, so Adam West, way back when, 60s I think that might have been. So just double checked, and it is the classic Batman from the 1960s. I wanted to make sure I actually got the year right, and the actual character that played Dick Grayson was Burt Ward. He was Dick Grayson and Robin. He was obviously Batman's sidekick, and he is in the set with the original Batman characters. So I need to get hold of that. If you'd like that one built live, I think it might be a good crossover set, I think, because a lot of the DC Batman fans might like that one. But that would be going upstairs and display upstairs, and then that potentially leaves a debate of if the new shadow box comes down in here. But that's it, I'm waffling now. So guys, we'll talk about that more in part number 3. But again, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and up to go to the next one. Ta-da.